Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of a Biome edition. This audio podcast as part of a Labostix Vortex. This audio podcast as part of the Abstrax, and this audio podcast as part of a Phantom newscast, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Labostix production. In this audio podcast, in this and through this audio podcast, I look through works. I look through an abstract. I look through an abstract that was I look through of it's part of an abstract that was that was put forward through to the Academy for Healthcare Science, or AHSC publication in amongst the publication through the AHSC, the Healthcare Science Leadership Journal, in around 2023, in the autumn edition, in 2023, and the abstract looks at where this was an invited publication, looking at ideas for improving patient information in amongst healthcare, in amongst the Healthcare Science Leadership Journal 2023. The article looks at the importance of analyzing patient care and healthcare professional perspective on supporting patient care through social media, and the article provides a sort of work through sort of examples work through sort of examples on and in regard to the renal patient support group, the RPSG, and the kidney disease and renal support group, and the kidney disease and renal support group, KDARS group for kids, social media platforms, and the article, or at least part of the article, looks at highlights highlights and informs that a systematic review of social media use in healthcare, in health and healthcare, has identified its a potential to provide targeted health education and peer support to reduce to reduce sort of disparities and increase sort of aspects in around healthcare services, in around healthcare services and aspects around healthcare literacy, and in amongst healthcare, in amongst sort of healthcare as part of healthcare services, and sort of where the article sort of the article sort of prompts analysis surrounding sort of social media, through social media, through analysis sort of in regard to, as part of works through social media, to better understand sort of to better understand the to better understand aspects in regard to healthcare service users, where healthcare service users, in regard to those suffering with varying forms of kidney disease. Um, and the article also has sort of an overview in regard to some data against different against different themes in regard to healthcare and healthcare services, or healthcare and healthcare services, and looks at the data from sort of an adult renal population, and a pediatric and young people's cohort as well. Um, so that draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast as part of a Biome edition. This audio podcast as part of a Labostix Vortex. This audio podcast as part of as part of a Phantom newscast, this audio podcast as part of the Abstrax, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Labostix production.